At least one.
Like, how many episodes have we recorded where surely we have not bitched? Surely. Because it's like, I literally, I've just opened Streamlabs and apparently it shifted all of my things down. So now I'm having to take away the black boxes and fix it. It's
Yay.
like, what the fuck? Oh, God's sake.
Thanks for nothing, Streamlabs.
Fucking pain in the asses.
The worst thing is, though, is I have used a few others, and unless you're willing to pay for one,
Yeah, fuck
they're
that.
all a bit.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. We're cheapskates on this channel. That's why. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. That'll do. That'll do. Otherwise, I'm gonna sit here and dick with it for 20 odd minutes, and I'm not fucking doing that crap. I'm already knackered. I'm already knackered. I'm tired.
To be fair though, like I mean, by the sounds of things and by the looks of the pictures that Jordan has just sent me, he has been trying to just completely and utterly like break up his family.
I've just won, Des. All right, okay, we'll get on to that.
I was going to say yes, the game that has ended more families than anything. Jordan was playing with was it wife and kid or just wife?
Wife and kid. Yes. We've
okay. So yes.
But anyway, before that, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Dorks Down Under. I'm your host Jordan here, joined with me by Des all the way in Australia. This is season 4, episode 14. I can't remember now.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I can't remember anymore.
Why don't you know, Des? 14. There we go. I've looked
14.
it up.
That's exactly what I was saying.
That's what we were saying. We are a podcast where we discuss all things dorkdom and going on in the dorky world and everything else. Please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. You can find us available on all good podcast software and platforms, apart from iTunes, because fuck them, we're not paying for it.
Yeah, Apple Store and
screw you, Apple.
Yeah, no.
We're not paying. We don't care. But anyway, so this week we're going to discuss generally gaming things that I've been doing. Lots and lots of gaming things. But
I must say though, right now I'm hoping for a quick podcast. I don't know if it's my turn to edit, but I'm more hoping for a quick podcast.
No, this is mine. This will be a quick one.
Because it is freezing in Melbourne. So let's put it this way. Yesterday I went out with Chris, a mate of mine. Shout out to my little tech marine, and we went over to do hobby, which then ended up us going to Costco, which took a while. Then we found this really cool toasty place that was nearby that we heard this girl talking about.
Cool.
Then from there we went, there's a South African shop down there, so we went and got biltong. Then there was a European shop further down, so we went and got that pistachio chocolate thing that everyone's going bonkers for. That Dubai,
yeah, the Dubai chocolate thing. Yeah.
So we found that, and we found a few other things. I must say, I did get a Yorkie and did get a Terry's chocolate orange because
remember, though,
I love those things.
It's Yorkie, and it's not for girls.
Amen to that. Which is such.
They've took away that advert. They don't do it anymore, and it's like, no, you should stick to your guns on that one. It was such a good advert.
It was ridiculous, but yeah. So I had a Yorkie, and then we hopped in the car to go home. This is after driving to, I reckon, the furthest Costco. Like we probably could have driven to Sydney, right? It was so far. And then on the way back, we found an American store, so we stopped there. And have you heard of a drink called Liquid Death?
Yes, it's water.
Yeah,
it's canned water. I know.
It blew. So Chris and his mate Dean that came with us obviously got one, and they're like, and I'm like, no, I've already had like 4 coffees and I don't want any more. And he's like, no, he goes, it's just water. I'm like, no, it's not. It's energy drink. And he held me the can. In the can, I went natural carbonated water, and it was like raspberry, strawberries. This because we've got the wild berry one.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him, and though he's telling me it's water, though I'm reading it's water, I'm like, no, this is an energy drink.
Oh, wait, I'll tell you what, we're going to go off on a tangent on this, right? Do you know the reason why Liquid Death was invented? All right?
Because without water, you die.
No. So, there was a band, there was some guy who went to see his favourite band touring and all this jazz, and he got VIP pass and blah, 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 and X, Y, Z. Yeah. And the event he went to was sponsored by Red Bull. And of course, so there's Red Bull promotion everywhere, there's and everything else. And then he noticed, he was like, hang on a minute. Because he was obviously backstage and he saw his band and he saw all the other bands playing. And they're all drinking Red Bull, but the can doesn't look right. And so he ends up noticing it a couple of times. Then he ends up talking to one of the techies, and just was like, "Can I ask a really odd question?" He went, "Yeah, sure, fire away, pal." He said, "Why is their Red Bull cans slightly different?" I said, "I've noticed it's slightly different shading and everything else. It just looks a bit odd." He went, "Oh, because it's not Red Bull." And he went, "What?" I said, "Well, we're a Red Bull sponsored event, right? So we have to have, the guys are on stage, they're drinking Red Bull." And I was like, "But he said, but you just said it's not Red Bull." He said, "It's not Red Bull, it's water." And he went, "Hang on, what do you mean it's water?" He said, "Yeah, Red Bull provide it," sort of thing. So they can stay hydrated, but they're promoting the brand. And most people at a distance, you can't tell the difference. And I was like,
because
and then apparently this guy ended up going on. I think he actually created the company, if I'm really right. Because he was like, "Well, screw it, why don't I make a company that makes it look like an energy drink? We'll call it something stupid like Liquid Death."
Oh, because like even when he was telling me this, I was just like, and I've got it in my hand. So then I rang Goddess, a friend of mine, on the way home from Thingos, and he's like, and I'm like, "Have you ever heard of this?" And he's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Yeah, it's an energy drink." I'm like, "No, it's not." And she's like, "Yes, it is." I'm like, "It's genuinely not." And then so she also then went and searched it. I'm like, my mind was blown, and I must say, I've tried it. It's absolutely amazing. I love
I've
it.
never tried it because I'm not a fan of carbonated. I'm not a fan of carbonated water, to be fair. So so it's not pitched at me. I already know that. But
I do like bubble water, as I like to call it.
Bubble water, nothing wrong with a bit of bubble water. But yeah, it is. But yeah, I just when I first heard it, I was like, no way. And I went and looked it up, and yeah, as you look it up, and he's like, "Oh, it is just water." It's like,
Yeah.
So, but you look at it on the shelf, and it sits next. It always sits next to the energy drinks as well. And it's
I
like,
know.
why isn't it with the water section or like with the the Powerades or something like that? But it always confuses me. But yeah, anyway.
But yeah, it blew my mind. And like, even when I bought it and I've tried it, I'm like, it just tastes like sparkling water with some things. Every part of me is just like, when your heart and soul knows something is right, but then all the proof says it's not, and you're just like, you can't get over it. It's like when somebody goes, "Oh, there was no blue M&Ms until like the early 2000s." You're like, "Yes, there was. There's always been blue M&Ms."
Yeah.
And then you look it up, and it's like, wait a minute, it was like the 2003. You're like, but I've always had blue M&Ms.
No, there's always been blue
I've been
M&Ms.
alive that long.
No,
And it blows your mind. And this was one of these things. And Chris is sitting, like, when I'm sitting in the back of Chris's car, Chris is in front of me and he's looking at me and he's just like, and he's like, every mouthful, I'm just like looking at this can, and he's like, it has just like warped your mind. I'm like, you have no freaking idea.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, because you're now questioning reality. It's like, hang on.
It was one of those Matrix moments where I'm like, everything I knew, and it just randomly changed in my hands, and I'm like, Neo, what has happened?
Yeah. Oh god.
But we and then eventually we got back to do hobby. So I ended up putting together.
Whoa! What's happened? What's happened with Discord? Oh no.
I can see you.
Oh, okay. Apparently mine shit itself for 2 seconds and it all went black.
Oh.
God forbid Discord, don't you start. It's already bad enough with bloody Streamlabs. We do not need Discord messing up out.
I know. But so I ended up getting most of my chaplain built. The only thing I haven't put on is the crozier.
Yeah.
Because Chris was going to print me a middle finger for my Angry Marines.
Yeah.
So I've got a shield that's got the Angry Marines logo on it now, rather than using the actual chaplain one.
Yeah.
And he's going to build me a middle finger for the end of the crozier. And I'm trying to see if we can get one that's big enough. And I'm trying to get him to print me.
I can already see it. It's big.
And the best thing about Chris is he's learnt enough about 3D modeling that he can, if he's got the file. So he actually printed me. I think I showed you, and I think we've shown it on stream, that dreadnought that I really liked, that had like all the writing and stuff. So he's got that already, and he actually changed a few things, so he can do that. So what I'm trying to get him to do is just cut the wrist off, use that dreadnought finger, and then on the thing put always angry. So the idea is he runs into battle saying always angry and has the finger there, and then as the rest of them run in, they chant all the time. And that was my joke about it. And he's like, yeah, I was going to do it, but then when he went to print, his computer screwed up. Like, he couldn't even find his drive.
Oh, okay.
So we reset it a bit. I did a couple of disk checks. I ended up fragmenting it and stuff like that, and it got enough that he managed to get 4 terabytes of stuff back. And I'm like, your drive might be dying, bro. So if you're going to do it, go get an external tomorrow, like today, and back it up. But this should fix it. And to be fair, it was working perfectly this morning, and he's printed a few things. So he's pretty happy in regards to that. But yeah, so the hobby night turned into me quickly jamming and getting that done, and then fixing his computer. So by the time I got home, it was like 8 o'clock, and I was like, I haven't been out all day like that in ages. Like normally, Cherish and I will go hiking, and we'll go groceries,
Yeah,
or we'll
yeah,
go on an adventure, but we're normally home by about lunchtime, about 2 o'clock.
yeah.
And I was like, I got home and I'm like, I'm exhausted. How do people actually go out and socialize? This is crap.
I know what you mean. Honestly, right? Okay, so I'll explain why I am. I mean, apart from playing, like we've played 4.5 hours of Monopoly today. So
And
that's
the family's still
the
together. There's
family's
no
still together.
divorce or
In fact, we've all agreed that I won because I was starting to dominate. It was hilarious. This is the best bit, Des. The best bit, right? I was down to 40,000 because we play in thousands with this game. I was down to
thousands.
40,000. Yeah, it's one of these random versions. I had $40,000 left. That's all I had. I was on. I had a couple of. I was on borrowed thing, and then I just got Luck City. The Luck train came. It just granted me full permission. It's like, yeah, go for it, brother. you know. And
Because I
then
must say the weirdest thing was like when I was watching, like when you sent me the photo of it, it genuinely and wholeheartedly looks like look like it had more hotels than LA.
yes, well, these are high rises in this one sort of thing.
Oh,
So
because I was just like it was like
so
walking through the Vegas Strip, but
I,
it was
I
in a
will explain.
square.
Right. So on that photo, and
Mm.
I'll put it up for people. So on the photo, Edward owns all the blues and he owns all the orange. And when he actually got the sets, he had enough money that he said, "I'll buy all. I'll put hotels on immediately." This is how much money he had in the bank, which was just terrifying. And then I managed to build my way up to hotels on the pink and the red. Apart from we
Mm.
ran out of hotels, so I wasn't allowed to put another hotel on. But basically, Ellie had the most. She had the your Park Lane the area one. She had
Oh
the
yeah.
dark blues, and of course, once she realised all the hotels were gone, she was like, "No, God!" Because of course she
Oh.
can't get anything. But it was hilarious that me and Edward looked out so much, we kept skipping her properties all the time.
Because that used to be my thing. I used to get like Park Lane and Mayfair if I could, but then also get like the two other ones like the Old Trafford or whatever it is, like
Oh yeah, yeah,
old.
yeah. No,
So you have the whole like
ideally, what
area
you
covered.
want in Monopoly is apparently you want corners. If you can maximize a corner,
Yeah.
you're laughing, or you either get an entire row to yourself, or you try and get a corner. But we were fighting tooth and nail, and there was no deals being made or anything else. But it was funny. I ended up getting all the greens because Ellie landed on my thing. She didn't have enough money. She owed me 11 million, and I was like, "Give me both your green cards, and we'll call it quits." And she's like, "No, I don't want to give you the greens. But give me both the green cards, and we will call it quits."
Oh my God.
Eddie then landed on it, but luckily, obviously, it wasn't my turn, so I didn't have time. I didn't have anything built on it, so he only had to pay 500k, sort of thing. And he was like, "I don't want to pay 500k," and Ellie went, "Yeah. To be fair, it's about to be a hell of a lot more expensive than 500k. Count your
Yeah.
blessings." It was
Give him 500K and just be like,
give
thank
him
you.
500k and count your blessings. It's gonna get worse, and it did. I immediately once it got to my turn, I was like, "Yeah, I pay." I think it was like, "Hey, I pay 24 million. I'll have 4 apartments on each one, please."
Oh yeah.
I was just rolling in the cash. It was so good. But yeah, but I was, as I said, being down to like I had to mortgage I had to mortgage one of the Browns to save myself, and I was down to 40k, and I'm like, God, how am I gonna get back in on this? But then
That's insane.
the luck train arrived. The luck train arrived. It was so
I
good.
must say though, I've been hanging to play Monopoly because I haven't played it in like ages.
Mm.
And I went out and actually got, not realizing, but there was a Futurama version of
Oh yeah.
Monopoly. And I got that. And when it rocked up, it had this random gold bender head. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Not realizing that this thing is like limited edition kind of
Oh
like
okay.
like like limited to like 500 or something. And I was like, wait, what? Don't even remember buying it. Don't even
Yeah.
remember being like, I need to get the limited edition one. Just being like, oh, that's sick.
That's sick.
Buy. And just
I
went,
want this
cool.
one with the gold bender head. Yeah.
So no, it did. I didn't even know it was coming. So I'm guessing that it's obviously something where they've released a whole heap and it hasn't sold or whatever. And
yeah.
I've just walked in and went, oh, that's cool. I'll buy that. Not realizing and being like, sweet.
To be
So
fair, we've got quite a few. We've got several versions of Monopoly in this house. So this one was the New Zealand on tour one,
Yeah, I noticed that there was some Kiwi ones.
I've got the Transformers. I've got Transformers one, which I bought back in the day, back when I was at uni, and I loved it. And obviously, all the places are different places of from the Transformers cartoon show when I, Gen 1, which is cool.
Yeah.
But the one we've got that we all really like is called it's Big Brands. So you're going around the board and you're buying up like McDonald's and stuff like this.
That's
And
kind of
rather
cool.
than rather than building properties on that, you're building up a stack, and you've got to max out your tower. But the community cards and the chance cards allow you to steal other brands from people and stuff like that. So it's really quickly paced. It's quite good.
Okay.
Sort of thing. So I highly, if you, I'll take a photo and I'll send it to you. But that one's quite a good one. I highly recommend that.
That's cool. So you're almost like buying franchises and
So
stuff.
yeah, you're basically buying your franchise, and then you've got a little tower. So you're building up a tower, and I think once you build the tower all the way to the top, you win the game. So it finishes a lot quicker than the normal one, which is quite good.
That's kind of cool.
But yeah, it's really good. But yeah, so definitely recommend that one. But yeah, so no, so we. But
here's a question: does this one actually have notes, or is it one of those ones that have?
No, it has notes.
You see the ones with credit cards?
Oh yeah, I've seen the one with credit cards. Yes, no, this one has notes. Although Ellie will attest that she hates the notes in this set because she said they just don't go, they don't flick right, Jordan. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I said because obviously it's probably this new plastic paper mesh thing, isn't it? Whereas back in the day when we were playing as kids, they were proper paper sort of thing. So it did flick quite nicely, when you're trying to inch it out quite nicely.
Well, that was the weirdest thing because I saw one the other day and it had like paper, and I was like, what? Like, I mean, not paper, it had like the credit card, and you swipe it and it gives you like the coins and stuff.
Yeah, it gives you your balance. Yeah.
I was like, that's so weird.
Well,
and how are you meant to sneak money when you're the
Well, that's the thing. They released that issue to solve the problem with the banker who keeps stealing. That's not that I've ever done it. I'm just saying, it's kind of there for a reason. But I understand why. God forbid.
My brother was notorious
for
doing that.
It's hilarious how younger family members are notorious for it, because they think they're just going to get away with it and they're not going to get caught. But it's like, come on,
thieving bastards,
thieving sods. But yeah, but anyway, right. The other reason why I'm tired is I have been up. I woke up today at 5:30. I know, on a Sunday. I set an alarm on a Sunday. It should be illegal, in my opinion. And the only reason I've done this is because I'm trying to tout for Father of the Year award, because it was the end of the Fortnite Season 6 big event was on today.
Okay.
So they were doing the event and everything else. Now, the reason why I've been playing Fortnite is because obviously, I have played Fortnite for years on and off. I get a whim and I want to play it. It's like great, and I have a good time and everything else. It's all good fun.
Yeah.
And literally, I was playing it with Edward. We were playing some squads, and then suddenly, I was like, Edward, what's this? And thinking that I'm trying, my account's trying to buy some, has got something stored. And I couldn't quite. And he's like, oh, that's all your V-Bucks, and I was like, it's 1,000. He said, yeah. Well, you've been playing a while, and because I don't buy. I have never bought any V-Bucks, so I don't know how and everything else.
So you actually earn them in game.
You can earn them in game through the battle passes for free, but you only if you do it through the free one. Maybe like in a battle pass, you can only earn like 200 or 300, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know, but because I've been playing on and off for so long over so many years. I've accrued them. And then suddenly, and of course, so the battle pass of the season that's just finished was Star Wars, and I'm like, ooh, I like Star Wars. so of course, I bought it because I'm like, yeah, it's great. I'm playing with Edward, we're gonna have some fun, and do all that shit. But I tell you one thing, do you know what happens once you buy a battle pass? You suddenly like, I need to max this out so I've got maximum value because
you actually pay for a battle pass? I thought a battle pass was just like okay.
So it is there for free in the background, but you can't unlock all the stuff in it unless you've paid for it. Sort of thing. So if you've paid for it, then you can get everything in the pass. Whereas if you haven't paid for it, you can only get like maybe 1 or 2 items per page, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's V-Bucks, sometimes it's backpack stuff. It's a bit hit and miss, which is fine. But God forbid, once I paid for it, I was like, oh my God, I need to max this thing out to make sure that I get everything because I'm a completionist. I can't help myself. So I've been playing Fortnite like as much as I can just to max out the thing. I've even gone onto the stupid creator maps that give you better XP boosts to max. Because I realised that because obviously it was finishing today. It was finishing last night, and I was like, crap, I need 3 more levels. So I went onto this stupid game, this absolute moronic game, and I was there for an hour playing this stupid builder.
So what is it? Because you're like Kiwi, it's rather than finishing at midnight, it finishes at like say 8 in the after, 8 in the morning.
Whatever time it was, I was just like, so I ended up playing this game for like an hour, and I'm like, why am I wasting my life doing this just for 3 fucking levels? But of course, it was easier than playing a match, and well, probably having because of I'm not exactly the greatest Fortnite player, I'll be honest. So me earning 3 levels, which is like 150,000 XP or God knows what it is. It would have took me about 25 matches. So I'm like, 25 matches versus an hour of my time.
Yeah.
So I just did that.
You know what's funny too though? There's probably someone listening to this and they're just like, 20. It took you that long to get the thing, guys? He's like, I can normally do that in 3 or 4 matches because they always finish like top 3.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I haven't got time for that.
You.
But it's really funny. But the best thing is, and I think it's genius what Fortnite have done, right, with these battle passes. Because, of course, I maxed it out, and I've ended up on 900 V-Bucks through the last battle pass. So I'm like, so hang on, where's the... So I quickly looked, because after, we've been playing this afternoon, quickly went on and had a look at the battle pass, and I'm like, oh, okay. So page 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 16 levels, and I get 100 V-Bucks, and I can buy the battle pass again, which then means I'm only going to get 800 next time. They are clever. They are geniuses, these guys at Epic, I'll tell you that.
Can you spend V-Bucks to buy the battle pass, or...?
Yes, if I want to pay actual money, I can. But... I'm a northerner. We don't pay money for things. Yeah, no. But we don't have to.
If there's a chance of us getting it for free, we're getting it for free.
If I can get it for free, I am getting it for free. God damn it! I mean, come on. And obviously, so the end of the session was this big end of Star Wars event where we flew into the Death Star and we were sabotaging it. It was really quite cool, actually. But it's hilarious how they hyped this thing up so much. And I'm like, okay. So Edward said, "Oh, can we do it?" And I was like, I'll set an alarm, we'll get up and we'll do it, okay? Thinking, oh, God, this is going to be like 2 or 3 hours doing this event. Because, like, you looked at some of these previous events and some of them are massive, and I'm like, oh, God, can I be bothered playing Fortnite at 6 in the morning? But I thought, it's going to make the kid happy. Let's just do it. So, do you know how long it took?
Did you finish, like, at, like 10:30, and then you had to play, then you played Monopoly?
Nope. 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
It was a 20-minute stupid event. I was so pissed off.
So you got up at the butt crack of dawn thinking this could take us like several hours.
It was freezing cold. I'm in my dressing gown. I'm bundled up. I'm in my office. He's in there. He's in the media room on the PlayStation. We are, we're thinking, right, it's going to be a slog. We've poured water. We are focusing in. 20 minutes.
We're set up. We're ready. Let's do
20
this.
minutes. I was so cheesed off. You have no idea. Because, of course, the problem is I'm now awake. And I'm like, I don't want to be awake because it's Sunday morning at 6:20. I'm like, hell no, I'm going back to bed. So I went back to bed. Probably tossed and turned for about a good 30, 40 minutes and then finally fell asleep. But, God, I was so pissed off. I'm tired. Yeah,
I must say though, like it has been cold here. Like yesterday, it was raining on and off, and it got to 12 degrees, and that is going to be our max for this weekend. And we've actually got a long weekend, so we've also got tomorrow off as I think it's the King's birthday here or something. So we've actually got a 3-day weekend. Today is 9 degrees.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is because we're doing we're cooking curry. When we stew it, we end up opening the windows so some of the smell can go out. And oh my God, it is freezing in here. Until we started recording, I actually had my because I got a fluffy blanket that I sometimes use on the couch when it's thing. I had it over here, and so it doesn't fall off, I tie it. So and my housemate laughs at me. She's like, why don't you just put a jumper on? I'm like, because I like the feeling of having a cape.
Yes, yeah, I could just imagine Super Des right now.
Oh man, it's so funny, but it's like a like a deep green fluffy cape. But I'm like, and it keeps me warm. And the good thing is I can still move my arms and stuff, but then I can also still kind of cuddle in on them. So they're thingo. I'm like, this is
Well, you don't have to be
ridiculous.
embarrassed because literally, like, Elle won some money on the pokers this week, which is fine. But it was really funny. Is literally she came back yesterday from shopping because I went out and did the Pokemon Go event with the neighbor, and then get back and suddenly she's like, "I bought this with my winnings," and I went, "What? I bought an electric blanket for myself with my winnings." I was like, "Okay, I don't know why you feel like you need to tell me." So because we're a team, and I was like, "Yeah, but say the sentence that you said. I bought this with my winnings. Yes, your money. Do not care. If you could have bought anything with your winnings, I don't care. It's fine. Just enjoy yourself." And I have to say, it was actually quite nice to be under last night.
One thing I do love about staying at a hotel is that exact reason when they have it on.
Yeah.
Because you just you put it on for like half an hour before bed. And you get into bed, and especially because of how tightly they have anything, you get in there and you're toasty and warm. Like, yeah, we actually had it. Okay, so here's the questions.
Yeah.
Because we were having this discussion at work.
Okay.
Right? You go into a hotel. It has two either double or queen size beds in the room. Just you staying.
Okay.
What do you do? Like,
what do I do? What
in regards to the two beds?
What do you mean? Which one am I sleeping in?
Yes.
Right. Depending on the orientation.
And do you use the other bed, or you just use one bed, both beds? Like, what do you do?
I tend to. I have actually had this situation, funnily enough, with all the traveling that I've done. So I actually only sleep in one bed. I make it depending on how it's set up in the room. I may sit on it, or just you basically use it as, oh well, I'm having a drink. I'm not going to sit on that chair because it's uncomfortable, so I'll sit on the other bed rather than sitting where I'm sleeping.
Okay.
But it's really funny because whenever me and Ellie go away, if we end up getting a room and they give us like, we'll order like a king, the king room or whatever it is. But and occasionally we do get a room with two double beds in, and it's hilarious how we absolutely adore and love each other as a couple. We do.
Yes,
we're very happily married and everything else. Congratulations.
Even after Monopoly.
Even after Monopoly, we're still married. It's all good. But
yeah,
it's hilarious how whenever we're given the opportunity to have two beds, we take the opportunity to sleep in our own beds, and we starfish as well. It's great. Honestly,
we had this.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, so you're very respectful because we had completely different things. We were talking about this because I do this as well because my favorite thing in the world is a club sandwich. Love a club sandwich. Whenever I go to a hotel, it's the first thing I order. The first night I'm there. But normally there's one bed that's directly in front of the TV. There's normally one bed that's off.
Yep.
So so we were talking about this and everybody agreed with me but one person who had never done it but now wants to do it. Where I have the one in front of the TV is my eating bed. So I eat in there. If I buy snacks, I buy snacks and I eat in that. But then I sleep in the one on the other side.
Yep.
Because of the fact that I'm like, I don't want to get crumbs in my bed, but I want to lie in bed and all cozy and watch shows. But then I'm like, and then I want to eat my club sandwich on my lap on the bed. But then I sleep in the actual one that's not touched. So I have a sleep bed and I have a food and TV watching bed.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Everybody was like, I 100% do that. One girl's like, I didn't even think of that. I'm doing that next time. So you don't do that. You're actually very thought out where you're like, I'm just going to use one, or I might use one to sit on, to put my shoes on, or if there's a TV to just sit on it. Oh man, I use both beds. I'm horrible.
There's nothing. All right, for a start off, yes, I've paid for the room. Okay, all right, the company has whoever. But regardless of the room's been paid for, the room's going to get serviced. The beds are going to get cleaned down regardless. It does not matter, in my opinion.
Yes.
Sort of thing. But yeah, I have no qualms or quandaries about using the other bed. The only one hotel I stayed. Oh God, where was it? Was it in Christchurch? No, it wasn't. I think it was in Christchurch. I can't remember now. But I ended up getting to the room, and of course, standard room, Christchurch, and everything else. So you walk in, toilets there immediately on the right, and then there's a bit of a walk down this corridor, and then suddenly there's the big main bed and the TV and the window and everything else. I'm like, cool. Then I realised on the wall there's a door, and I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. I thought, maybe it might be maintenance sort of thing, because obviously we've booked a room just for
Yeah.
me, but and I checked the handle and it opens, and I was like, oh crap, maybe this shouldn't be open. But I opened it up. It's another bed, but it's in its own internal sort of thing. There's no window or anything. Yeah, and it was like, I thought,
Oh, because I thought maybe it was an adjoining room or
yeah, no,
something.
that's what I
So
thought. I thought it might have been an adjoining room. I thought it might have been a maintenance thing for maybe the showers, because maybe then the other shower for the other unit next door is sandwiched between the two. Could have been anything like that, but not. But no, it was a whole other room with no windows, and I was like, well, to be fair, it's going to be nice and dark. But I was like, nah, I didn't sleep in that one because it was just because of the way it was oriented. I just didn't like the thought of being in an enclosed room. I was just like, no, I'll just have the window at least and everything else. So I ended up
that's so
not
weird.
using.
Was there a bed in the main room?
Yeah, so there's a bed in the main room,
And it was like
and
kind of like
it
this
wasn't
like
like it was
closet bed.
it wasn't like it was a sofa bed that's been pulled out and made up. It's actually like it was a full queen bed, and
Oh,
then you open this other one, and it was another full queen bed, but it's in an entire internally enclosed room that's
yeah,
dark. Obviously, that is dark as sin, but of course it's got more things. So I had like the only reason I used it is because you had the way you could put your luggage out and everything else. So
yeah.
well, that's my wardrobe then. I'll just yeah,
That's so weird though,
yeah.
because I guess with some people obviously struggle to sleep when it's not completely pitch black. But
Yeah.
that's really weird. It's kind of like you've almost got a wardrobe bed.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was a bit strange, and I thought to myself, I thought this is odd, because I thought he didn't even have a TV in there or anything. So I was like, yeah, this is just for sleeping. This is literally a room just for sleeping. There's no other use for this room. And I thought to myself that
So
sure.
weird.
And then I was like, I actually wanted to bump into someone in another room on my floor and ask him. Just to say, just a curiosity, do you have a bed in an entirely enclosed section as well? Just to find out if it was just my room or is it a common thing throughout the floor, sort of thing. You know what I'm saying?
So, I mind you though, like I think that when I stayed there for the Rugby World Cup, as I said, we stayed in like these 1960s rooms where you still had the thing you could put the razor blade in the wall
Oh
and stuff.
God,
Like, yeah, have you seen the
Jesus.
slots with that?
Yeah.
Every part of me is like, part of me wants to just open that and just see, but then part of me is also like, no, because there could be decades old of rusted razors just fall out.
Yeah.
I'm like, whose idea thought that was a good idea? Like, I'm just gonna push razor blades through.
I
Oh, I
don't.
do have a question for you, and this is very important.
Oh God.
Did you get the probably the console release of this decade? Did you get yourself the Switch 2 yet?
No, I have not got myself a Switch 2 yet.
Because I know you're excited for it.
I would never, because the reason why I haven't got it yet, I am going to be getting one, but not yet. Now, the reason why is because I remember when the Switch 1 was released, there was so many major issues with it that they
Oh,
ended
yeah.
up having to do like a major fix, and they had to get customer ones back and fix them all up and blah blah blah. So I assume, look, I haven't heard anything yet. I've been keeping my ear to the ground this week, but I haven't heard any major issues yet. But I'm just kind of holding off on the fact. Plus, I'm also waiting to see if the IRD give me a load of money back for tax refund, and then I can justify the purchase as well. That's the other reason as well. Yeah.
Mind you, though, have you seen some of the issues with the GameStop pickups for? Have
No,
you seen this?
no, I haven't seen this.
So what they've done is they've grabbed the box, and they've just got your receipt and stapled it onto it. So it will say like receipt 1234 Jordan Halligan.
Yeah.
But what it does is they actually staple it to the box, like just pushing the stapler in.
Okay.
There's all these people that are opening it and finding two holes in it because the screen is right near the very top and there's not a lot of padding. So what they've done is they've stapled straight into the screen. So and it's not just like one or two. Supposedly at the moment there's been 100 and something cases pulled in from some guy going, we'll just save time and just staple them into the box, and
Yeah.
not realizing
God.
that there's no padding or there's no screen. Like there's a bit of plastic over it and stuff, but yeah, they've actually stapled straight into the screen.
I did see that someone has put up a warning thing because it states clearly in the instructions, because obviously like it comes with, like, to be fair, I noticed this with Edward's phone that we got him for his birthday. It comes with a screen protector already on it, which is really good actually, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you take that off and you've already got a screen protector on, and the Switch 2's got one. But apparently some people believe that wasn't a screen protector and were ripping it off. And of course it was then causing, because the way they were getting it off was damaging it. Shock
Yeah.
horror. So lots of people are like, "Why is my Switch damaged?" She's like, "Why did you remove the screen protector?
Yeah.
You morons!"
But that's the thing though, like why would you remove it? But have you also seen too, there's also like obviously they came through and they said if anyone tries to mod it or hack this Switch,
Oh, this
it's going to be bricked and stuff like this.
the
Have
orange
you also
screen of
noticed
death. Yeah, I've heard
have you
about
also
this.
noticed too though, within an hour of getting it, somebody had posted that they had actually modded it already.
Yeah.
And they were actually showing and modded it. An hour and a half after that, somebody had hacked the Switch already and had like gotten rid of all of the stuff and put like Windows on it and stuff. I'm like, what the hell?
No, you see, I heard a really funny thing from someone, and I died laughing about it. I really did die laughing about it. So a guy had bought the Switch 2, and of course, as part of the deal, he had to trade in the Switch 1. Fine, no worries. He's like, yep, great, no worries. Don't care. You know, I'm not going to use it anyway. Who cares? He didn't. He thought that the game cards still stored all the memory of the game and the
Oh,
save files. They don't anymore. Obviously, as a saving, as a cost cutting saving measure, that's all stored locally to your drive,
yeah, which it would.
i.e.,
You've got like a hard
i.e.
drive, like a
on
save
the
file.
Switch One. So when he went to log into, I don't know which Pokemon game it was, but he went to log in, and suddenly he was like, "Why do I have to set my character up? Whoa, huh?" And then suddenly it dawned on him, and oh my god, please tell me that it's not. Surely the data is saved in the cloud. He had to look up. No, it's all saved locally on the
No, it's all
machine.
saved locally,
You're meant
which
to
is
apparently
so.
get it, and you can do a clone my thing, the thing
Yeah,
with it, and then that's what you do. But of course, I dread to think how many people who traded in their switches,
yeah. Oh,
didn't realize this and have gone, oh my god, and they have to start because some of these Animal Crossing players, man, they go down a deep rabbit hole with how many hours they
oh,
invest into
tell me
games,
about it.
man.
Oh
Jesus,
my God, tell me about it.
I could imagine there'll be bloodshed. Give me my Switch back. I need the data.
Can you imagine too though? Like, yeah, that would be an absolute nightmare. Like, holy bejesus.
I mean, don't get me
But I
wrong.
guess, but do you remember back in the day where you used to the battery in your like old school Game Boy used to
Yep.
die?
Yeah.
Have you? There's a dude I saw on YouTube. He was just doing shorts, and what he does is he
Oh,
buys old games.
and he repairs them and then play and then has a look to see.
Yeah, because there's like a
Yeah.
simple screw on the back that you take out, and it's just like one of those little flat like batteries, like almost like a thingo that you put in. And yeah, and he's been playing stuff, and there was one of them where it was like he was saying like it was so funny, like he's saving some, he's like puppy for like, and he'd renamed all the Pokemon so he could do it. And it was like puppy and like snail guy or sea snail or something like this, and he'd saved all this. And then there was one that was just Bob, and it was just like, and you could see when he's loaded up the game, the guy was playing him, but he just named his pet Bob, and I'm just like, what the hell?
No,
And
I know the guy you're talking about. It's really funny because some of the ones he logs in on is like, all right, let's see how far they got. They didn't complete a gym. And it's like, what? They haven't done a gym? It's like,
yeah,
and then he actually realizes that they didn't even get past out the starting area. He's like, what? And it's just like mind boggles him. It cracks me up. It's like, yeah, to be
yeah.
fair, that would mind. You'll be like, hang on, how have they not done this? This is the simple, easy progression, and normally you get about 6 hours in. But I think he was like he had about 8 hours of gameplay or something like that. It's just,
Yeah.
he was just like, I was like,
There's a couple that he's done where he's got to a point and he's like, okay, cool. And then he goes to actually do it and it keeps screwing up and stuff. And he's just like, he goes, I can see why they quit now because it just kept like the save file was so close that it kept it kept going back and forth and you couldn't get past a certain point. And he's just like, oh, that must be why it happened. And I'm like, oh my God, like it's just so funny. Like, and I'm like, that's kind of cool though.
yeah. No, it is good that it is good to see that old games can be saved somewhat, sort of thing. To be fair, it was quite impressive when I was back in the UK because, as I said, I was trolling around for a new phone, for a phone for Edward,
Yeah.
and I went into CEX, which is for anyone who's listening, it's like it's a second-hand shop where you can sell your electronics specifically, or DVDs or video games, and then they resell them on. So it's just a good way of continuing things to have been recycled and everything else, which is nice to see. But the amount of old consoles that were being in the CEXs and the amount of old games available as well was so cool to see. It like
Yeah.
seeing Game Boy Advances, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to get one. It's like I have to stop myself getting one. I know you've got that thing, and I that just
Yeah, I've got.
that
Well, what I've also got is
does
I've
tease
also
me.
got something else new that's kind of cool. And it when's this being released? Is it after the 13th?
It was well after the 13th.
When
Second.
when's this episode being released? Is it after the 13th?
Yes, yes, it will be. Yes, yeah, it
Okay,
will.
because I've actually embargoed for the 13th.
Okay.
But this thing here is, yeah, is you actually put your phone in it and it actually plays. So this is the Razer Kish version 3.
Oh,
And I must say
I'll
though,
tell you
is
now. Edward's got something very similar from a different company, but he actually quite enjoys it. But yeah,
I must say this one's actually really cool because it still has the obviously 3.5. It's got the USB-C, so you can actually charge your phone while you're playing. And I've spent way too much time playing that lately. We're on the train and stuff, and I've fallen back in love with Firelight. Even though that Firelight 85 is kind of like a Fortnite-esque game, but the one
yeah,
good thing about it was you had jetpacks that would reload, so you could kind of like jump and then fire across and different things. And they've nerfed that. But since then, I've fallen back in love with it. I'm like, oh, and I've just been playing it online. Like I hate gaming on a mobile. Always have. This thing makes it so much fun because it feels like you got a controller and the screen's all there, and I just legitimately just throw it into my bag at work,
yeah.
and it's like absolutely fantastic, and I kind of love it. So I've been playing way too many games, and I've realized now that I've used like 80% of my 80% of my storage on my thing because I've just been downloading games to play like on that. It's so dumb.
Oh.
So dumb.
To be fair, the other game I have been obviously now we've started playing the new Fortnite chapter, which is quite cool. It's all superhero based. In fact, DC superhero based as well. So not Marvel this time. So now we've got Superman, Robin. So God knows what we're going to get for the rest of the season. It's going to be interesting. I've got obviously. I'm assuming they're trying to tie in with the new Superman movie because that's coming
Yeah.
out soonish, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be. It should be very soon actually.
But yeah. But the other game I have been playing, and I was chomping at the bit while I was away, of course, was the new Helldivers 2. Shock horror. Playing Helldivers 2.
I was going to say well, that game has very rarely been mentioned on this
It's
podcast.
very rare. Just the odd occasion here and there. But obviously, last week, the Illuminate had raided Super Earth. Oh my god, the dynamics on Super Earth was so good. They had so many good things, like like your ships were having to reposition to get a better shot from firing bombardments and stuff. We had NPC versions of the Super Earth military helping out on missions, and tell you what, they actually did. One of them saved my ass, right? So there's this new
Cool.
there's this new mob for the Illuminati called the Flesh Mob. It's like a gigantic abomination of like multiple zombies stitched together, and it charges. It hits like a truck, right? This thing soaks up damage. And I'm running low on ammo. I'm trying to get away from one, and I'm like, oh my god. Then suddenly, a rocket from behind me, because I'm looking at this thing, and the rocket flies out and smacks it, and I'm like, oh my god, teammate, thank you. Thank you. Turn around. It's one of the NPCs with a rocket launcher, and I'm like,
Wait, what?
yes! I was like, yes, brother, that's what I want! I was so happy.
When did they suddenly learn to play?
But yeah, no, so they released them as part of the Super Earth campaign, and oh my god, they were, I mean, right, 9 times out of 10, they got in the way. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, okay? But, on the odd occasion, oh my god, because you could recruit them if you saluted them properly, and they would follow you and just provide some extra fire. And generally, most of the time, they were terrible. So I avoided them, because, God forbid, I realised quickly, I was like, oh my god, they're worse than Stormtroopers. Yeah. The standard joke. They are worse than Stormtroopers. But I'll tell you what, on the grateful occasion that suddenly one of them shoots a rocket and blows up a thing that's chasing you down, oh my god, I was like, thank you, brother. You will always be remembered.
That's funny. Here's a question: how many hours do you have on what's call it on
Helldivers.
Yeah.
I don't want to know that. That we don't. Why are you asking questions like that? I don't want to
Only
know.
because Chris, my mate that I was obviously
Yeah.
with yesterday, he actually said he's got like 490 hours
I don't
on
know. I
Helldivers,
actually
and
don't
and
know. I'd have to actually have a
and I
look.
and I legitimately said to him, I'm like, I honestly think my mate Jordan might have as many, if not more, because
I
he's also
I
obsessed.
I'm surely. Well, hopefully don't. Actually, I wonder if the PlayStation app tells me. That's a good question. PlayStation app might be
It's,
able to tell me. Oh
it's
my
just
god.
strange. How many?
I got 461 hours.
Oh, close.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. The worst bit is I'm going to be playing this afternoon. Oh dear lord. Oh, why do they tell you this information? I don't want to know this
Yeah, I know.
nonsense. I don't want to
It's
know how
great.
many hours I've played a game. God. Oh, that's terrible.
That's pretty funny, actually.
The worst bit is as well is that I'm finally getting to the stage where I might have to actually pay for then what do they call them, the new bundles that they released with the new armor sets, because
Oh, like the cosmetic stuff.
the war bonds, that's what they call it. Yeah, so the war
I thought
bonds,
you had like heaps of them.
I have got every single one so far, right? Because I've been luckily, because I bought the Super Citizen one and I got that one for free and played it so much when I first started. I was always 1,000 credits ahead. So when the next one rolled around, I'm like, sweet, I can just straight up buy it. Because obviously I've been traveling a lot, and with my break in the UK and everything else, I've lagged behind now. I am struggling, and the new one comes out, I believe, in 2 weeks. So I am at the stage where I might have to go, crap, I might have to drop some money on a game.
It'd be rude not to. It'd be rude
not to. But I am legitimately it's just one of those things of, I was just like, yeah, but it's quite good having all the new guns to play with. Especially, to be fair, Edward was watching me yesterday, and he was like, oh, so what you did? I said, I'm just fighting the Illuminate at the moment. We've got a major order. He was like, oh, cool. And then he was like, Dad, what is that thing? Oh, that's a new flesh mob. He went, flesh mob? What's that? I said, basically like a giant, the Voltless. Imagine about 20 of them stitched together. He's like, is it fast? I went, surprisingly so, yes.
Oh my god.
So once it starts running, that thing comes up on you quick. And then suddenly he's like, what's that blue line? I went, oh yeah, that's the new Stingray that's flying around shooting at us. And he was like, oh, okay. And then suddenly we got pinged off by a Leviathan ship that's flying through the sky. And he's like, what the hell? And I went, oh yeah, that's the Leviathans. And he went, what on earth's happened? And I went, yeah. I said, you think it's bad now? You should see what's happening on the bots. And he went,
I swear to God, though, some of these games are fun like that, where it's like, when you go back to like an old neighborhood where you used to live,
yeah,
and like all the old houses have been knocked down, they put new apartments, there's brand new shops and stuff, and you're just like, I don't even recognize this place. I'm like, that's what I feel like's happening with Helldivers right now.
Honestly, it's really funny. But to be fair, I love fighting the bots. That's my jam. And when I explained to Edward, I said, "Oh, you should see with the convoy mission that we've got on." And he said, "Oh, was it a specialized mission?" I went, "No, it's a literal side quest." He said, "What's involved?" I said, "You got five." I said, "You got five walking fabricate. You got five fabricator walkers." And one of them's got a scrambler on its back, and the rest of them have just got the big ass cannons. He's like, and what do you have to do? I said, you got to kill them all. He said, but it takes so much firepower to take down one. I went, yeah, I know. That's the reason why it's called coordinated fire. Or you look sack like I did. I managed on one of them because they were coming around a corner, and I'm like, great. So I set up my anti-tank gun, and I'm firing away. Because I triggered the first one, all the rest of them behind have triggered, and they start firing on each other. To try and get me.
Well, they're killing each other.
So basically they were causing so much damage to each other. I'm like, sweet, this is just gonna speed it up.
Jordan solos it, and everyone's like, how did he do it? And it's the fact that he just shot and just ran away, and they just keep shooting each other.
Pretty much, that's all I did. It was hilarious. I discovered it, and then I was talking to a guy that I play with when I jump online. I see him online. We have natters, and I said, oh yeah, have you discovered the hack on the convoy? And he went, what hack? I said, if it's only going to be turning a tight curve, I said, you realise that if you get them to line up when they're walking in a straight line, if you shoot the first one, all the rest of them behind them's trying to shoot at you. And he went, no. And I went, yeah. He said, but doesn't that, yeah. And he's like, Okay, duly noted. And then he tried, literally about 2 days later, I got a message from him and said, "Oh my god, that hack has saved
So
my
what do you do?
life."
So you can almost kill all of them by just not killing the one in front and having them all shoot each other.
Pretty much, yeah. No, no. Well, basically, you keep firing the one that's still standing in front of you, because then the first one will go down, but the second one's there and it's already severely damaged, and it's like
Oh
bam,
yeah.
another one down, bam. You just keep going.
Far out.
But the problem is that the one thing I did realize that I think Joel might know my little hack, because it's amazing now when I've tried the same tactic that suddenly patrols start swarming in on me, and it's like fuck you, Joel, fuck you. I know what he's doing. Yeah,
I just love also that we've got somebody to blame, and I think that is the greatest thing that they've done is just like let's just give them something to blame,
yes,
and it just makes us so happy.
yes. Everyone, it's hilarious how the one problem is one thing I always find funny with Helldivers 2, right? Is that you because there's lots of new players now, which is fine. It's good for the game. Don't mind it, and I don't mind jumping on and helping them out. But it's hilarious how one of them will have his mic on and say, "Oh my god, this is incredibly easy," and I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "What?" I said, "Why? Don't say those words. Don't say those words." He said, "No, but we're trouncing through it." No. You do not say those words. Why? Because
No.
Joe will hear and Joe will come and he will fuck us. And then it's hilarious how literally within the space of 5-10 minutes, suddenly there's orbital bombardment or some shit like that, and plans just go out the window, and it's like, see what you did? Do you see what you did? You called in Joel. This is what happens.
You enraged the Joel.
If we're having an easy thing, it's a standard rule: is you don't say a word. You're quiet. Everyone knows.
It's so funny too, though, how many people you see and they're like, it's like 5-1, and they're like, oh, we've got this. It's 5-1, and then somehow you lose, and you're like, that was you.
That was you. That was you. Why did you say these things? Why do you voice these things? Yeah, it does crack me up. Anyway, right.
No.
Anyway, that's enough rambling for this episode.
Yes.
The short episode I wanted is no longer short. That's what happens when we start rambling. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. It does mean the world to us. It does help our numbers. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to all the new listeners. We will be back next week. God knows what we're going to be talking about.
We'll see. There's some movies that we could be watching as well, I think.
Well, to be fair, I've just finished season 4 of Clarkson's Farm, which was quite good.
I thought after number 3 they'd cancelled it because he freaking threw a sandwich at someone or something.
No, it's got season 4, and it's good. It's good. You're gonna watch it.
Is there going to be? I thought it got cancelled because he was being a Clarkson.
No. It's still on. It's still on. In fact, it's really funny. Apparently,
because I thought after the whole Top Gear thing that he ended up like getting half of his stuff pulled. Like it actually says here, it's likely that Clarkson's Farm will arrive in late spring, early summer in 2006. Like obviously in America.
Yeah.
Because so they've already. But I thought after the whole incident with Top Gear / the Grand Tour / whatever the bloody hell we're calling it, the Clarkson Farm also got axed.
No, he's a cash cow. They won't get rid of him. In fact, it's really funny. He went on a podcast. He went on
the Grand Tour because I fucking love the Grand Tour.
Oh yeah, no. The Grand Tour ended because all 3 boys had said that they were tired and they were done. Because obviously, it's a hell of a lot of traveling and everything else, and they've all got side businesses now. Like James May's got his own gin distillery and a bar and everything else. Richard Hammond's got his own workshop where he does.
I love that show.
And he does his own custom fit outs on vehicles and everything, and he enjoys doing that. And then obviously Clarkson has the farm. It was really funny because he went on this podcast and he was talking about the farm. And when he first bought the farm, he actually pitched the idea of essentially what is Clarkson's Farm to the BBC, and the BBC had said, and he said, he quoted the words which was saying, honestly, no one would ever watch a show about a farm. and it's hilarious how it's one of Amazon's big sellers. It's a crack.
You know what's also funny is that we've got a series here that I know they also have in America called Farmer Wants a Wife.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I'm guessing like a Married at First Sight, but they obviously have.
I am aware of what Farmer Wants a Wife. It is.
But what's funny too, though, is it now ranks better than Farmer Wants a Wife.
Yeah, No, it's
Like people are obsessed with it. They love it, and it's like even better than, it's better than maths and all this stuff. And I'm like, how? Just like how? Like it's these
it's
farmers that
good.
some of them are good Aussie blokes. Some of them are like some of them like we watched. I think last season, Cherish was like, let's give it a go. We watched part of last season, and I was like, bro, this is a reason why there's no women in your life. Like you are an asshat. You are a dumb fucking redneck, like straight up. And I'm like, yeah, no.
Honestly, yeah, some of them are proper characters and they are funny. I have to say. But anyway,
Yeah.
right. Anyway, we're gonna end it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this week, and we'll be back next.
Layers.